adverb. Ooh, yes, Lord. Now, this word now is not only an adverb, but to fully and completely understand it, you got to know exactly what an adverb is. Well, an adverb is the part of speech that changes or that modifies a verb, all right? In other words, an adverb is simply a word that has the power to alter. Good God Almighty. It is almost as if you're telling a story and you're talking about pinto beans and you're talking about pinto beans, but when you get ready to talk about corn, you say now, corn, etc. Because now it has the power to alter. It has the power to change. And so Luke finds it necessary to notice that even though Peter is going through persecution, he still has the power to change his word. I want to let somebody know this morning that it doesn't matter what you're going through. You do not have to walk away with your tail in between your legs. In fact, you better go home today and let the devil know that you got the power to change your world. You are a noun, an N-O-W. You are an adverb. You possess the power to alter the atmosphere. That's why you don't have to wait until tomorrow. Now unto the King, holy, eternal, immortal. Now unto him who's able to keep us from falling and present us faultless before the presence of his glory. Now are we the sons of God, and it does not yet appear what we shall be. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things which are not seen. Somebody open up your mouth and shout now. He said now. You see, about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hand. Now that's a message all by itself. He stretched forth his hand. But see, what the devil doesn't know is that God's hands are a lot bigger than his hand. He stretched forth his hand to vex certain of the church. Now that's when I started getting a little nervous as Bishop was up talking, because Luke says he vexed certain of the church, which led me to know that Satan is not after everybody. That's why this is the season of the wheat and the team. I had it written on the notes, I promise you. It is because Satan is only after a certain group of people, and he's after a certain group of people because he knows that God has already locked in another group of people. Somebody called it the remnant. Lord, I wish I could help somebody here. And I want you to know today that if I were you, I would do whatever I had to do to stay under the cloud. Because you see, it's not about the crowd, it's about the cloud. Lord, I wish I could talk. And sometimes he'll change his expression, because sometimes in the day he'll be a cloud, but sometimes if you catch him at night, he'll be a pillar of fire. But look at somebody and tell him, you gotta move with the shit. There's only a certain people that he's after. The Bible said that he killed Jacob, and John with the sword. Now, if you understand this particular verse, you understand this particular persecution, Yadabashikia, yes, Lord, is relating to being beheaded. I wish I had time. Now, I want you to know something. Some of us have an attitude with God because we're taking what we're going through personally. For about 15 intercessors and 13 prayer warriors, and for the rest of you that just know who God is in your life, in this season, Satan ain't after you, he's after your head. Why would he be after my head? It is because 4 out of 5 of your senses is in your head. If we exclude the sense of touch, we've still got the sense of seeing. Because Satan wants to, good God, I wish I could hear. Satan wants to cancel your vision. We've got the sense of hearing, because Satan knows that faith cometh by hearing by the word of the Lord. He got the sense of taste, because when I was growing up, they told me that death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they taught me that referred to my communication. But can I suggest that the power of the tongue is not sense of smell, which is your strongest sense, symbolic of discernment. Why would smell be my strongest sense? Because your nostrils are the very first place that the Spirit of God entered into man. What is it? Back in the church, back in the kingdom, back in Eden. The Bible says that after God had formed man from the dust, that he breathed into his mouth. And so these are your senses, and all for about 50 of you all in here who get excited, some of us cannot afford to lose our sense because we don't know what God is doing, but we can sense that God, I'm going to feel like preaching and preaching is up to something. You want to look at somebody and tell them, I don't know what it is, but I can sense it. Somewhere down in the spirit of my sanctified soul, in the setting of my Noah, I can sense that this, what I'm going through, won't last always. It's coming to an end. So Satan wants to behead you. That's why he wants to get you disconnected. Lord, I wish I could preach prophetically. Because he knows that if you lose your head, you lose your sensitivity. And there's some things that God won't tell me, but he'll let me sense it. Look at somebody, tell them I can sense that God is up to something. The challenge